Another downfall to these herbal teas and this agbo is they'll make you believe you are feeling fine while you are neglecting your health, and then your health will now get to the point that you actually really need help, the late stages, and then that's when people go to the hospital, and sometimes at that point the hospital really just does supportive treatments.
Sometimes when it gets to those terminal stages, there's really nothing, little or nothing that hospitals can do, and the person will sadly have to just take that lonely road. So guys, please, when you pick something and it's doing everything, that's the first sign that thing is fake, or it's not properly done.
Hello guys, welcome to Med Corner, a captivating podcast dedicated to exploring the vast and ever-evolving world of health and medicine. I'm Dr. Habila Oxburg, and I'm here with my very good friend, Dr. Yahweh. And today we are going to be talking about everyday practices that are harmful to health. So sit back, grab your headphones as we unravel the facts and dispel the myths to pave a better, healthy future. So Dr. Yahweh.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Oxby.
I'm sure you have a lot of those harmful practices every
we have a very long list here. So I'm not sure we'll be able to finish this at a go. So I think because of how long it is, we'll divide this into two. We'll have the first half today, and then probably in another episode, we'll have the second half.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so the first of my list here is washing hands and the toilet. Yeah, I know some people say, is it better to wash your hands before using the toilet? Others will say, no, you shouldn't do that, or it's better you do it after.
Others will say, you don't need to wash your hands
at all. But we're here to tell you that the proper thing is to wash your hands before and after the use of toilet. It doesn't matter whatever you're going to do in the toilet, but before you're done and after you're done, you need to wash your hands. Whether you need to defecate or you need to micturate or urinate. The proper thing is before you get in there, you wash your hands, and then by the time you're getting out, you also wash your hands.
I know it's an unpopular opinion to say you should wash your hands before using the restroom, but I think it's logical because you must have shook people's hands, touch different things, and then using those dirty hands to touch your genitals.
It's very wrong. And then particularly for females, I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be gender insensitive, but particularly for females, it's much more easier for those transmissions to take place. If you go with a contaminated hands into the bathroom or into the toilet, and then in the process of cleaning, you don't know where your hands have been to. Just as I said, you've had handshakes with people, you've put your hands into different things, whatever you are doing before you got into the toilet, it's better to wash it before, and then by the time you're done, after, of course, for obvious reasons, you've just finished on the toilet, you need to clean your hands before you go out. So hope you've taken note of this. Before and after, teach your children, teach everyone around you.
Yeah.
So what's the second thing on my list? I was wondering why
would you like a drink?
No.
So this is agbo. I'm sure you've seen this drink like everywhere on the streets, the corners of your estates or in the market, everywhere. Yeah.
I think everywhere you go, you find it. You find those women or even men. I've not seen any man selling it, but it's mostly women. You find it on their heads, and then
a lot of people believe in this even more than modern medicine.
Exactly, and you can't even convince them. But that's why we're here to try to convince you that this is harmful.
And the thing is,
to start with,
I don't know.
You dropped it too fast.
You want to have a sip?
Yeah, no, not the sip. What does this contain? Because I don't know. I just know they call it agbo, and I know it's harmful. But I've tried to find out what are the different constituents. Yeah, of course, I can see sticks. I can see the herbs there. But the surprising thing about things like this is that they can solve everybody's problems.
They can cure cancer, HIV, fibroid.
Yes, that is what the people marketing it say. Yeah, so that's even the first pointer that it is a wrong, it is false.
I
Because
mean,
how
if this cures everything, I think we'd probably be out of our jobs.
exactly there'll be no doctors, there'll be no hospitals because I mean you can easily go and get this for a very cheap price and then it will solve every problem.
But for this, I'm sure there's a way to. There would probably be a way to make something like this and actually make it healthy for it to work. But a lot of these people don't have an idea what they're actually doing. Apart from these sticks, you'd see people putting diclofenac, NSAIDs in them, putting steroids in them.
They mix all those things in
Yeah,
there.
that's why a lot of people get better when they take this. Like someone is having
Probably
malaria
pains.
symptoms, having pains, and then he takes that because of the NSAIDs in it and the steroids. But in the long run, it's actually doing more harm than doing good. That's why a lot of people these days come down with kidney problems, liver problems, and you'll be wondering where is this coming from.
Exactly. Now, you might say, or a traditionalist somewhere, or that's a herbalist, people doing the real alternative medicine may argue and say our forefathers used herbs, they used all of these things, and they got better. Why are we talking against it right now? Truth is, most of even the drugs we have today, most of the medicines we have today, were gotten from plant sources, a few of them from animal sources. So, but the problem with this is the dosing.
You can't quantify
all of those things. Now, let's say this particular herb, this particular leaf can help solve the problem of fever. You understand?
Now, how much of that leaf?
How much of that leaf do I need? It's not how much of that leaf do I need? How much of that leaf does someone who is twice as big as me would the other person need?
Yeah.
So you see that there's no proper dosing mechanism of it. So a little child, what does a little child need from that quantity? So you can't. There's really no clear-cut line, and so something that does not really differentiate like that. Can you trust that particular thing? The answer is obviously no. That's one. There's no quantifiable dosing for things like this. The second reason why this are not good is we've established that those drugs were gotten from plant sources. Now, the particular chemical substance in that particular leaf that cures fever is there. How about the other substances in that leaf? Can you guarantee and say those ones are good? Yeah. Now, what modern medicine does is that there's the separation technique. It picks the useful ones, discards the ones that are bad. But by the time the people making this, they grind the whole leaf, they put it inside the bottle. So they are putting both the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in one bottle. So you see that, I mean, I'm not trying to put them out of market, but it's harmful. And by the time, usually when we see people with liver diseases, kidney diseases, there's a huge association with the use of herbal medications, use of agbo like this. So guys, please, you can't trust this. Don't desist from using it. So,
and in line with the agbo is the herbal teas that people sell by the roadside and.
Yes. I think we're trying to look for that.
Right? I have a picture of one though that cures a lot of things, even pancreas.
I mean, how do people come up with those? The thing about these other ones is that they are packaged. You see them in nice package,
and
good.
Some of them even have
NAFDAC.
Yeah, NAFDAC numbers.
Let me not shout that out.
That's a fake NAFDAC number.
Yes, fake NAFDAC, because I don't think the
NAFDAC
real
would really approve that.
Yes, I don't think the real NAFDAC would do that. So, but you see in numbers, you see that they try to make it as packaged as possible, and you see by the time you look at the container, one thing is curing fibroid, one thing is causing. So you see, they try to make it as packaged as possible. Imagine one herbal tea curing cancer, curing hernia, curing pancreatitis, curing uterine fibroid,
curing esophagus.
So guys, I mean, please don't fall victims of all of these things.
And the another downfall to these herbal teas and this agbo is they'll make you believe you are feeling fine while you are neglecting your health, and then your health will now get to the point that you actually really need help, the late stages, and then that's when people go to the hospital, and sometimes at that point the hospital really just those supportive
I mean,
treatments.
there's sometimes when it gets to those terminal stages, there's really nothing, little or nothing that hospitals can do, and the person will sadly have to just take that lonely road. So, guys, please, when you pick something and it's doing everything, that's the first sign that that thing is fake, or it's not properly done. Yeah. So, what do we have on the list?
Okay, the fourth one, wiping yourself from back to front.
Okay.
But before we even talk
Yes.
about, yeah,
Yeah. Because this is also this is also something that we deliberate about, and people will say, okay, is it what's the right thing to do? Is it using wipes or is it using water? The best and the recommended thing. The recommended process, recommended
the
action,
cheapest way even.
is to use water. So whenever you use the toilet, water is the right thing, is the ideal thing. Use water to wash yourself. However, where you may want to wiping should be done from front to back.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't mix that up, right?
Yeah, from
front
front
to
to
back.
back,
That's the proper way of wiping. It should be done from front to back, not the other way around, not back to
And
front.
we are not just saying it because we want to give people rules. Like when one defecates, there are microorganisms in that feces. So like wiping from back to front would introduce those microorganisms to the urethra, that is the penis or the vagina.
Yes,
So
and this is particularly for females because of how because of the proximity of the
anus
the
to the
anus
urethra.
to the urethra. It's very short, and then the females also have very short urethras too. So you just want to be safe. So as you said, we're not trying to provide rules or make life difficult for you. The right way to wipe is from front to back, where you can't use water, because we've said it that water is
Water no get enemy.
exactly. So please hope you've also noted that down.
Yeah.
And
The next one is using bar soap to wash your hands.
instead of
Using liquid soaps, or the thing with bar soaps is when people use like a bar soap to wash their hands, most of the time the bar soap is just there, and especially when there are multiple people using that bar soap, or there's no particular system draining, or like a case that drains the liquid from that bar soap, the bar soap just keeps harboring bacteria on it. So as you used it to wash your hand, another person uses, or still you later on, you're just recycling the bacteria.
okay, so the soap is not really even washing
Yeah.
out at this time. It's serving as a host.
Yeah, so it's more
As a medius
advisable
for-
to use a liquid soap where you could just wash your hands, or if you have to use a bar soap, after using your bar soap, you have to clean your bar soap, store it in a dry place, and store it in a way that the liquid from it drains.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Oxby, for this. Because
Thanks, Maji.
so the next thing we have on our list is female genital mutilation. This is really, really important because some cultures, some traditions back this up. I mean, they back this up with some very funny but funny and strange reasons.
And this thing has been there for decades, for centuries.
Yes, and you would think that it should have been fading out, but it will surprise you to know that up till today, some people still practice this. Female genital mutilation simply means different grades of what do I call it?
Different cutting,
yes,
or modifying parts of the
female
tract.
yes, of the female genital tract. So as we said, there are different grades. Some just be a little cutting, while some even go as far as closing everything. Some people call it female circumcision, and you hear some funny reasons of why they do it, like to prevent promiscuity in the females. Okay, by the time we do this to our daughters will be more respectful. Though it will help them to be more reserved. It will help them to prevent promiscuity on their own part by the time they begin to grow up.
And if you think about that, like, you're actually doing harm, because if you remove the clitoris of a female because you don't want her to be promiscuous, won't she go in search of something that satisfies her? making her promiscuous.
Yes, exactly.
But she's unable to find it because the clitoris is not there.
So I've just been talking about it. I'm trying to imagine the whole process, and I mean it's not something I want to really think about it, because that's criminal. And in places where things work, you should be jailed for doing that. So please, you listening may not have been a victim, or maybe this is not going on around you, but you'll be surprised that by the time you call back home, you call your villages, you call your hometown, maybe your uncle somewhere is thinking about practicing this. So this is completely wrong. Female genital mutilation is completely wrong.
And even apart from like the complications, like the infertility and the others, like psychologically, it scars them for life.
Very, 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 very important. And then that by the time that lady grows up and thinks about what you've done, that particular person has done.
That scar will always be there.
Yes, and she may haunt you also for life. So, guys, please, that's completely wrong. So this is the second to the last point, I think, for today, because we just wanted to divide this into two. I think we also talked about it earlier on, which is buying of those natural drinks.
But we didn't talk about like the Zobo and the Kunu, from buying them from hawkers on the streets and all.
Okay, I think I'll be found wanting here sometimes. So, but I myself would need to stop completely. And
plus the fact that there's a cholera outbreak.
I just wanted to say that you saw the news about the outbreak in Lagos attributed to a particular person who is selling what they call a tiger nut drink.
Damn.
Yeah, so they said most of the cases in Lagos were kind of linked to the tiger nut drinks that were being hawked by people in Lagos. So,
and it's not like these drinks are harmful. It's just like the process of making them.
Yes, we're not saying tiger nuts very healthy, a lot of benefits to it. The Zobo, which is the hibiscus drink, very healthy. The Konu, made from millets and other very healthy drinks.
I mean, if you must consume it, then you should buy from a source that you trust, or
you should make it
your
at home.
own at home.
Yes, or buy from a very trusted source.
Yeah.
Yes, for me, one thing that helped me is from buying street food is I say to myself, as long as you're moving with it, I won't buy it. Yeah, so if I prefer those ones that are more stationary, and because I feel like if you're more stationary, these people have been buying from you and people can easily trace you. But if you're moving and something happens, where do I want to? So I mean, that's just for me. So I mean, you can have your own pattern, but generally you can't trust. Don't buy from someone or somewhere you don't trust, because it might come down with cholera, and cholera is harmful. It may come down with 1,000 other things. Yeah.
Okay, so the last point on our list is self-medication. I mean, my stomach is paining me, flagyl. I mean, I have headache, diclofenac.
People should allow flagyl to rest. Flagyl has suffered everything. Flagyl, please guys, stop it.
I mean, you have to be really careful about self-medication, especially antibiotics, because we are talking about drugs generally, but particularly for antibiotics, you really need to be careful because of something we call drug resistance, and it's something that physicians and surgeons are really fighting against right now, because when there's resistance, you have to come up with something else that works. And how often are you going to keep doing that, finding something new that would combat that, when we could just
do the right thing? Just take it when you need it.
Yeah.
So please, guys,
or take it when your physician prescribes it.
Yeah. Or take it when you need it. Take it when your physician prescribes it. I mean, that's the real need for it. So guys, please, I hope you've learned a lot from our episode today. Make sure you ask your questions in the comment section. Share this video for those who may not be opportune to see it. And we'll see you next time.
All right. See you in the part 2, guys.